In today's video, I'm going to be realistically rebuilding the Philadelphia Eagles, but with the new addition of Jahan Dotson. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys like and or subscribe. If this video gets 100 likes, I'll do whatever rebuild the top comment says. But moving into the rebuild, getting Jahan Dotson for a 3rd round pick, also in return. Wait, they gave up a 3rd and a 7th, I believe, in return. They got a 5th as well with Jahan Dotson. So I think this was a great move for the Eagles. Their offense is so stacked. Even though they did lose Jason Kelce for their offensive line is still pretty good here. Mekhi Becton, I'm honestly going to do it. I know some people may not like it. If you can't succeed on the outside, you're going to get moved to the inside. That's how it works for offensive tackles in the NFL. So I'm going to be moving Mekhi Becton to right guard. So with that change, you got Barkley, you got Jalen Hurts, great running backs here. Will Shipley out of Clemson, loved him. I'm honestly going to put him at the number 2 here, more of a receiving back type. And then Jahan Dotson in the slot, AJ Brown is the 1, Devontae Smith as the 2, even Paris Campbell in rotation, Dallas Goedert at tight end. Stacked out offense. Defensively, you did lose Hassan Reddick and you did lose at the edge rusher position this year, but either way, Josh Sweat is still very underrated along with Bryce Huff, but I do think it was a little bit overpay for Bryce Huff, but it was still a good pay. And then here at defensive back, of course, you got Quinion Mitchell here, and you also double stacked with Cooper DeJean, because honestly, James Bradberry, I'm going to put Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean over James Bradberry. I don't want to hate on him, just not big of a fan of James Bradberry. I don't think he should be at an 80 overall. I think he's an 81 with the boost there. Then for your safeties, you got CJ Gardner-Johnson back. Sidney Brown looks pretty good. Devin White's down to a 75, but at least he has star depth. This team was in a 3-4, but I moved it to a 4-3 because your defensive tackle depth is really nice here. Linebackers, I understand, aren't that great, so it's not really the best for a 3-4, but Nakobe Dean here, I'm going to move him to outside linebacker real quick. But with all that being said, everyone knows this is a Super Bowl contending team. Without Hassan Reddick, makes it a little bit harder, but the offense did improve significantly this year, so you love to see that. Let's see how we do with Jahan Dotson and the Eagles at the midseason mark. And we are 5-1 here, as we are top of the division above the 5-1 Dallas Cowboys. It sucks that we're in the same division as them, because in Madden, they are crazy. Scouting national focus, I'm going to do middle linebacker here. And for the players ready to negotiate, it says we have $82 million, but I can't be too crazy with the contracts I give out here, because once this Jalen Hurts contract fully kicks in, which I believe will start next season. It doesn't fully start this season. The contract is backloaded, which makes sense because the Eagles are in a win now situation, obviously. And then, you have Saquon Barkley's contract. Gonna have to pay Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Don't have to worry about Quinion Mitchell or Cooper DeJean's contract. Josh Sweat here, though. Depends how he performs. I would like to keep him on the team. Let's just do a 2-year contract to be safer now. He re-signs on that. Kenneth Gainwell, I mean, he's not bad as depth, but I have Will Shipley, so there's really no reason to keep him. Mekhi Becton, yes. Ooh, this is a really cheap contract. I was about to say yes, he hasn't been that good in real life, especially for being a top 10 pick, or was he pick 11 for the Jets? Either way, only $4 million a year, 25 years old, star dev. This is an easy signing, even if he doesn't work out. He says no to us, so I guess I'll have to increase that in the offseason. Either way, it's a stupid cheap contract, and I want him on the team. And then Devin White here, same deal, really young here. I mean, star dev, he's probably not going to get to an 85 overall, but if not, he can be a second string, play depth. Just a 2-year contract for now. Paris Campbell, not really interested in now that I got Jahan Dotson. All these other guys, not really that interested in. Brandon Graham, about to be 37. He's not going to be useful. Jahan Dotson, Jordan Davis, I'm not going to accept their option because they both have interest with the team, and I'd rather just sign them on their new contracts. So I'll wait till the offseason for that. And for now, let's move into the playoffs. And we are 15-2, top of the division, 1st round bye for the playoffs. You love to see it. Stats and awards, Jalen Hurts, 7th in passing, 10th in passing touchdowns, 5th in passer rating, 5th best offense, 3rd best defense. You love to see it. 600 yards, 28 touchdowns, 10 receptions, 112 pass rating. Great year for Jalen Hurts. Rushing wise, he also has 5 touchdowns, 400 yards, 103 attempts. And then Saquon Barkley, 1,400 yards, 4.7 per carry, 17 touchdowns, 4 fumbles for Barkley is kind of outrageous, but still 17 touchdowns, 4.7 per carry is nice. AJ Brown, almost 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, 8 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Dallas Goedert, 600 yards and 4 touchdowns. Jahan Dotson, only 1 touchdown, 490 yards. Is Paris Campbell in the slot? Who is in the slot? I guess they put Dallas Goedert in the slot, and I just didn't notice it. Usually the slot eats a lot of work. Maybe Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown was accidentally placed there. Defensively, Devin White, 88 tackles for a loss, 14 for Bryce Huff, 12 for Jalen Carter, 10 for Josh Sweat, sacks, 10.5 for Josh Sweat, so I definitely want to re-sign him. 6.5 for Jalen Carter, 5 for Bryce Huff. Like, his tackles for a loss are nice. do I really, I'm considering drafting a new edge just because he gets paid a lot. I know he put up the most tackles for a loss on our team. It's crazy that I'm kind of considering this right now, but I just want a sack machine. Josh Sweat is getting older, so we never know. I know he's only 27, but in Madden, regression starts at 28. Sidney Brown with 4 interceptions. Safeties on the team is 1 for Jalen Hunt. Yeah, Jalen Hunt, or Jalix Hunt, I believe is how you say it. And then 1 for Devin White. Defensive touchdowns is 1 for Sidney Brown, who seems to be balling out. Who will we be facing in this divisional round? Maybe should start saying that whenever we get there. But we will be facing the 8-9 Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams to move on to the conference championship. Here to face the 12-5 San Francisco 49ers to see if we can prevent them from losing another Super Bowl. Here we are against the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to open up with 3. We're going to respond with nothing. Finally putting 7 on the board for us in the second quarter. 10-7, 10-10. Nice game here. And we get ball at half. 17-10, 24-10 at half. And we punt right away. The Niners are just humiliating us at home right now. Eagles Nest is not happy, as the Niners will go on to win this one just to lose another Super Bowl. Never mind, the Niners actually win a Super Bowl here. It's very rare to actually see them win the Super Bowl in simulation. I've seen them plenty of times lose it, but they get their Ravens revenge game 11 years later, beating them for their Super Bowl revenge match. This time it's not the Harbaugh brothers, but either way, Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl MVP, Patrick Mahomes wins the league MVP, and there are no awards here for the Eagles. In the NFC East, Brandon Graham, Darius Slay, and Lane Johnson both retire. That's going to free up a lot of cap, but that really sucks for the team. And for the team upgrades offensively, we look the exact same, other than, of course, losing Lane Johnson, and then we also lost defensive back, but good thing we have Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean here, and no other upgrades. Actually, Sidney Brown with 4 interceptions and a defensive touchdown gets Superstar Dev, and Jalix Hunt here gets Star Dev. He's young, so it's nice to have him there, but unfortunate start for the retirements, especially whenever we were so close to getting to the Super Bowl, but let's move to the re-signing. And now I have $117 million to spend, so I'm going to wait on that. Mekhi Becton just doesn't want to be here. He doesn't like the scheme fit. What? It was the same scheme fit as before. You had interest. What? Okay, anyways, I'm just going to overpay for this. It's now $8 million a year, and he resigns on that. I want him on the team. Kenneth Gainwell can walk. Paris Campbell can walk. All these other guys can walk. I'm fine with them. And then Jahan Dotson and Jordan Davis, I want to not accept their options so I can just pay them in the next season. I was about to sign JOK here. He wants $26 million a year, dude. You're a pass coverage archetype, aren't you? You are not an edge rusher. I am not paying that much for you. After free agency, I got David Bakhtiari at left tackle, going to move him to right tackle to replace Lane Johnson. Ryan Kelly, who is a superstar dev now, 84 overall, 32 years old. Both of them are on 2-year contracts. Then I got Stephon Gilmore at defensive back, replacing all the players we lost and adding a new center to the roster. So the board right here is looking really weak. I wanted to get a defensive back so that way I can replace Stephon Gilmore. I'm going to cut James Bradbury probably. The defensive back board looks really weak. Devarian Gibson here out of Clemson. I mean, nothing really too special here. Not really too excited about any of these prospects. Charles Wiley out of Texas, 6'3", 195. Nice size to him. Elite acceleration, solid speed. Nothing really outstanding past that. I might just pull the trigger on this top right tackle here on this board. Agility here, but 6'6", 316. Out of Auburn. I mean, looks really good. Don't necessarily need him because I have David Bakhtiari, but he could retire in the next season, and he's only on a 2-year contract. Don't really love the value here on the board, but this is what I'm going to get, so I'm just going to pull the trigger on this right tackle. B+ pick. Normal dev blows, especially picking an offensive lineman in the first round, but I guess that is what it is. In the second round, though, getting middle linebacker Terrence Middleton out of Alabama, 6'4", 250 run stopper, hidden dev, 87 speed, 86 acceleration, A's and B's across the board. I'm going to make him the starter for all the linebackers, including sub linebacker. And in the third round, picking up defensive tackle Khalil Johnson here to replace Brandon Graham, 6'4", 303, hidden dev, 86 strength, 76 speed, and 82 acceleration for being 300 pounds is great. A finesse moves, B awareness, and B play rec. After the draft, it looks like the AI picked up this guy named Kruger here, or Krieger, my bad, and not Freddy Krueger, but Krieger here. Not bad. O-line looks like it's actually improved in the offseason. I think Lane Johnson was an 85 overall, so improvement there, improvement at the center position as well. And then we have an 88 overall team. I think last year was an 86. Middleton, I'm going to make the starter over Devin White. Nakobe Dean is still going to be the starting right outside linebacker instead of moving Devin White to the outside. Khalil Johnson is a 70 overall. That's fine with me. Specialist-wise, need to make sure that my new linebacker goes up there. got all that. Everything looks good. Jahan Dotson is going to move into the slot. Defensively, we're going to make Cooper DeJean the slot as well instead of Gilmore, and we like all that. So apart from that, let's move into the midseason mark for year number 2. We also got some trade offers here before I simulate for Reed Blankenship. He's not bad depth for us, but if I don't need him, I don't need him. It depends on these offers too, which all suck. So I'm not even going to worry about that right now. I'll look at his contract at the midseason mark. At the midseason mark, we are 6-1 at top of the division above the 5-2 Dallas Cowboys. Scouting national focus. For the scouting national focus, really don't know what I want to do here, so I guess I'm going to do outside linebacker. And for the players rated to negotiate, Jahan Dotson I do want back. Around $10 million a year. Quite expensive for a number 3. But the video is about him, so we're going to keep him on the team. Jordan Davis, 5-year contract, $12 million a year. Going to sign him. This is whenever money starts to get tight. Reed Blankenship does not have an interest with the team. Really cheap contract if he did have an interest. $4 million a year isn't bad, but he's a depth safety. Kenny Pickett, yeah, let's pay this guy. $16 million a year to be a backup. Yeah, you're delusional. Dallas Goedert, I like him, man, but he's 30 and he wants $10 million a year to be in a role where he's not really that involved. There's too many mouths to feed here. I might just trade Kenny Pickett and Reed Blankenship off. And then Stephon Gilmore I will want whenever his overall goes down. James Bradbury can walk. And then Jalen Carter's going to be a bag, so I'm probably going to tag him. Nolan Smith, normal dev. I mean, he has an interest with the team. If he's a stupid cheap contract, I'll sign him. But for now, I'm not going to accept that option. But I will accept the option for Jalen Carter. And then, yeah, Reed Blankenship, Kenny Pickett. I'm sure they're going to have value somewhere. Let me trade these away. We can get Jerry Jeudy in a 7th for him. BJ Ojulari would not be a bad move, but it wouldn't be the brightest move either. Trayvon Wallace, Blake Corn. Trayvon Wallace, actually. That would actually be a solid pickup. I need outside linebackers. I don't have to pay him. He's going to be young and he has a star dev. I think I'll do that. Except, do I take a 6 and a 7? Yeah, this is fine with me. I'm going to take Trayvon Wallace from the Panthers. I'm also going to move him to right outside linebacker, put him over into Kobe Dean. And with that, I got a young guy at a position of need for 2 guys who I didn't want on the team, and they didn't really want to be on the team either. So, team looks fine like that. Love to see it. And then the linebacking core, very young, but it's not the best right now. We're still training it up. Specialist-wise, Middleton's there. Got everything the way I want it. Now let's move into the playoffs. And we are 14-3, top of the division, but we don't get the first round bye. It's going to be the Niners that get the first round bye at 14-3, which really blows. Coming off a loss to the Cowboys in Week 17 sucks as well. We could have been 15-2 and taken this, but we are here to face the 9-8 Packers in the wild card. For the stats and awards, Jalen Hurts looks great once again. 4th best offense in the NFL. 14th best defense, better year from last year, more yards, more touchdowns, less interceptions, slightly better passer rating. Rushing wise, Barkley only 1 fumble this time, 16 touchdowns, 5.5 average, 1,500 yards, much better season despite having 16 touchdowns instead of 17. A.J. Brown, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. Jahan Dotson, 11 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. That's what happens whenever you put them in the slot. Dallas Goedert, I'm not paying you $10 million a year to put up 2 touchdowns and 600 yards. Devontae Smith, 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. Barkley, 5 receiving touchdowns. Devin White with 105 tackles for a loss, 13 for Jordan Davis, 12 for Bryce Huff, 12 for Jalen Carter, 11 for Josh Sweat, sacks, 11 for Jalen Carter, 11.5 for Josh Sweat. They both have 11.5. And Bryce Huff, 10 sacks, and I considered replacing him last season, so I guess we're going to keep him. Jordan Davis with not 15, but 5.5 sacks. I was about to say 15.5. 5 interceptions for Stephon Gilmore, 4 for Quinion Mitchell. Great to see. Not great to 3. My God, I can't speak. Terrence Middleton, the rookie with the safety, and defensive touchdowns is 0. Let's see if we can beat the Green Bay Packers to move on to the divisional round here, and we do. Here to face the 12-5 Minnesota Vikings with J.J. McCarthy to go back to the conference championship, and we do. Here to face the 14-3 San Francisco 49ers once again, but this time we are playing on the West Coast. Here in the Niners Stadium, they're going to open up with 7. We're going to respond with 7. We get ball at half too. 14-7 here, 21-7. Oh no, Eagles fans, don't let it happen again. Come on, man. At our own home and at their home, what are you guys doing? We didn't even do anything to open up the half, but still 21-28, 35-21, 29-35. Will you get there? No, you don't. 29-35. back-to-back conference championship year losses as the Niners are going back to the Super Bowl once again. And wow, the Niners kryptonite is in the Super Bowl. What, that's their third loss in the past 5 years to the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl MVP. Dak, never winning league MVP in real life. Lamar wins Offensive Player of the Year. Was really hoping the Defensive Rookie of the Year would be Middleton, but it's not. In the NFC East, 2 players on the Giants retire. And then for the team upgrades offensively, Krieger here has superstar dev. Oh, that puts me in a terrible situation now because I just paid Jahan Dotson on a 5-year contract. Krieger's going to progress faster and I'm not even going to be able to use him. That sucks. It's not like I'm going to be able to get rid of Devontae Smith or AJ Brown. How big is Krieger? Please be like 6'4". Please be huge. Okay, we have our tight end replacement. I don't care if he's 196. He's going to have to deal with it. He's not going to be a blocking tight end. I'm not going to let superstar dev go to waste, and I'm not re-signing Dallas Goedert for $10 million a year to put up 2 touchdowns. He's still a 77. Big brain move. So he's not going to be big, but he's going to be 200 pounds. Let's just say we can build some muscle on him in the offseason, and he has 0 blocking ability. We're going to say he's a Darren Waller conversion. Darren Waller was a receiver converted to tight end, drafted by the Ravens. Then the Ravens, of course, gave him to the Raiders, and he balled out on the Raiders. But for the team, Middleton only has star dev. Was really hoping he would go up to superstar or something like that. Cooper DeJean goes up to superstar, though. Josh Sweat had 11.5 sacks and like 15 tackles for loss and no superstar dev. Really unfortunate, but I guess I'll just leave it the way it is. I'm not going to force anything. Everyone else looks good. 89 overall team. Let's move to the re-signing. For the re-signings, Jalen Carter, I'm going to accept that option. Dallas Goedert, already explained why I don't want him. Does he want more money now? Yeah, he wants a little bit more. I'm good. You're 31 years old. Nakobe Dean doesn't want to be here anymore, probably because he's not at the top of the depth chart. No, he doesn't have a mentor. I don't care. Stephon Gilmore gave us 5 interceptions in a season, so of course I'm going to re-sign him, and he accepts. Nolan Smith, I'm not going to accept that option. Just going to pass on him. Maybe he does something. I mean, he's depth for us. Maybe if it's a cheaper contract, I'll re-sign him in the next season. James Bradbury can walk. All these other extras can walk, except for our punter, because this is a stupid cheap contract for a punter. 5-year deal, and Braden Mann re-signs with the team. We have $35 million to spend, but we have players to re-sign. So I'll just look at free agency. I'm not going to make a big splash, though. Yeah, I'm just like not interested in anything here. So I'm just going to totally skip out on free agency and just move into the draft. This guy here, Cliff Abott here. A awareness, B catching, B zone coverage. If I mispronounce his last name, I don't care. My boy Cliff out of Oregon, 6'1", looks really good, 187. His physical is elite acceleration, elite strength. At 6'1", having elite strength, 187. A awareness is what I'm liking. I know he's going to be a high overall. If I take this, his counterpart that's above him here, Lorenzo McCollum out of Notre Dame, 6'1", 203, a little bit bigger, great acceleration, great agility, great jumping, good strength, not elite, not better though. His awareness is B to D, B man coverage. The other one's more of a zone coverage archetype. This one's more balanced athletically. I think I'm just going to take this guy because I know he's going to have a high overall despite his maybe projected development. But either way, A awareness is going to be a high overall. Cliff Abott, again, I don't care if I butchered that. B minus pick. Hidden dev, 90 speed, 94 acceleration, 90 change direction. Seemed to be the right pick, 6'1", 187 out of Oregon, and he's going to replace James Bradbury. In round number 2, we get a center to eventually replace Ryan Kelly, and of course, this guy also has normal dev. B plus pick, he skipped the combine, so he looked like a baller. A pass block finesse and A awareness. And in the 3rd round, picking up a backup tight end, Cam Bishop out of Mississippi State, possession, 6'5", 257, hidden dev, 84 speed, 84 acceleration. He's going to be good as well. Now, this is the team moving into year number 3. Did David Bakhtiari get cut? Or did he retire? I'm sure he just up and retired and the AI didn't tell me. But either way, oh look, both of our tight ends look exactly the same. Different last names, but that's cool. Roy Krieger here out of Florida. Vertical threat. What's his blocking? 35. Possession, 90 speed, 92 acceleration as a tight end. You'll have to see it. Blocking sucks, but that's fine. So it looks like our 1st round pick from last year is going to start. And then this guy that we got in the other round is 72 overall without the boost. So 88 overall team once again. Hopefully we don't lose the Niners in the conference championship again. Abot here is it Abot? Pretty sure it is. I don't know why I keep mentioning that. But 88 overall team. Let's see what we have here. Gilmore, is he going to be in the slot this year? It's DeJean in the slot. And then Gilmore I had at the, did I have him at the 2 last year? I'm going to have him at the 2 this year. And then DeJean's going to stay in the slot. Once I eventually get rid of Gilmore, Cliff is going to take over. But for now, let's move into the midseason mark. Yeah, I don't know why I blanked this long. Yeah, the defensive back's name is Cliff Abbott, not Abbott. I don't know why I say it like that. Abbott. Either way, we are 7-0, top of the division. You love to see it when Dallas is 1-5, and the Niners are 3-4 and 11 seed right now. That's a W. Don't gotta play them. And then finally, for scouting national focus, is there really anything on my team that I need like at all? Sure, let's do offensive tackle. Saquon Barkley here, 29 years old. I don't care. 18 million a year. My God, dude. Anyways, I'm gonna have to do it. He resigns with the team. Sidney Brown has been great for us. Only wants 4 years, 7 million a year. He re-signs with the team. CJ Gardner-Johnson, despite his age, I want him on the team. 11 million a year for him. He says he's on the fence, dude. I extended your contract. Then Josh Sweat, let's do a 3-year deal. Should have just signed him long-term when I did, and he's on the fence as well, apparently. Bryce Huff, I'll sign you, man. How about you take the money? He's excited to be with the team. Notice how he's not on the fence, dude. Then Devin White, Keely Ringo, I forgot they drafted him. That's not bad depth, but I already have so much depth at DB. Not enough money. Ryan Kelly is going to regress. Nolan Smith, how much money does he want? To be a backup, you want $8 million? You're smoking crack, dude. You haven't produced like 1 sack for me this entire rebuild. I already got Stephon Gilmore as replacement here, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then Quinion Mitchell, I'll probably accept that option. So for now, let's move into the playoffs once again. And here we are, finishing at 13-4, and the Niners didn't take the 1 seed. This time, it's going to be the Vikings, 14-3, taking the 1 seed. All right. We get the 2 seed once again. For the yearly awards, Jalen Hurts, another great year. 8th best offense. Defensively, we are 20th now. Doesn't make any sense. 3,700 yards, 38 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, and then 119 pass rating. Great year from him. Barkley, no fumbles, 16 touchdowns, 5.0 per carry, 1,400 yards. Guess he took that fumbles thing to heart from me. Receiving wise, A.J. Brown, 13 touchdowns, and then Devontae Smith with 10 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, 1,200 yards. Devontae Smith, 1,000 yards. Jahan Dotson, only 6 touchdowns, 600 yards. I guess I didn't put him in the slot this season. Then Krieger at tight end, putting up 2 more touchdowns, but 100 less yards than Dallas Goedert. But the key thing is I don't have to pay him, so I'm cool with this. Defensively, Devin White with 99 tackles, tackles for a loss, 16 for Josh Sweat, 12 for Jalen Carter, 10 for Bryce Huff, sacks 10.5 for Josh Sweat and Bryce Huff, 6.5 for Jalen Carter, 4 for Trayvon Wallace. I don't know why he's coming off the edge, but sure. Interceptions, 4 for Stephon Gilmore. Despite his age, dude, he's still putting up numbers. 3 for Sidney Brown, 3 for Cooper DeJean. Safeties on the team is 0. Defensive touchdowns is 0. Can we beat the Detroit Lions to move on to the divisional round? I would hope so, and we do. Here to face the 10-7 Rams to go back to the conference championship. Can we do it? And we do. Here to face the 14-3 Minnesota Vikings. Please don't let us win. Please don't let us lose 3 conference championships in a row. So we are finally not facing the Niners. Let's see if we can actually win a conference championship now against the Vikings. Remember the last time these two played in a conference championship? No, it wasn't really much of a conference championship. But anyways, that was the same year as the Minnesota Miracle. 10-14, third quarter, 17-10. Offense, step up, please. Step up. The defense is the 20th in the league. What the... 3 conference championship losses in a row. What are you doing? 0 touchdowns from Jalen Hurts. Non-responsive, dude. Come on. And the Vikings with J.J. McCarthy win the Super Bowl over the Ravens. The Ravens losing their 2nd Super Bowl in history and in this simulation. J.J. McCarthy wins the Super Bowl MVP and the league MVP. Sure, dude. J.J. McCarthy Glazers at the dev team, I guess. And then there's no awards here for the Eagles. In the NFC East, Ryan Kelly and Stephon Gilmore both retired. I planned on re-signing both of them too, which really sucks. And for the team upgrades, offensively, we look exactly the same. Defensively, any other upgrades here? From what I can see, no, which is unfortunate again, but A-Bit here is a star dev. We're fine with that. Not really huge here on the depth either, but 89 overall team still. Let's see what we have for the re-signing. For the re-signings, Quinion Mitchell, I'll accept that option. CJ Gardner-Johnson didn't like the contract last time, so I'm just going to do player-friendly here, get him to re-sign. He stays with the team. Josh Sweat was on the fence last time, but we're just going to do, oh, he wants 20, he wants even more now. I'll increase the bonus a little bit, my end, and he re-signs with the team. Devin White, I wouldn't mind his depth here. $9 million a year to be a depth player. Yeah, you're smoking something, bud. Keely Ringo, how much do you want? $3 million a year. This is a cheap contract. I'll keep him just as depth for the team. Nolan Smith, absolutely not with the money you want. All these other guys don't care about. I have $28 million to spend. Let's see if I can get a new center right tackle in free agency. After free agency, I got Ronnie Stanley on a 2-year contract, but we're going into the final year. Gonna move him to right tackle, 86 overall, superstar dev. In the first round, drafting strong safety Felix Bruce out of LSU here. Hidden dev, 6'2", 210, 89 speed, 88 jumping, 82 acceleration, 87 acceleration, 92 agility is what I meant to say. 83 change direction. Don't really need anything else on the team, so it'll be nice depth. And yes, I'm drafting depth in the first round because my team is already so stacked out. And in round number 2, middle linebacker John McAllister, normal dev, 91 speed, 91 acceleration, is hella fast though, 6'1", 242 out of Washington here, B- pick, A's and B's across the board. And in round number 3, getting a new center, this one has hidden dev, 89 strength, 80 acceleration, 76 jumping here, A's and B's across the board. I'm going to start him just because of his development trait. Now this is the team moving into the 4th and final year, 89 overall team, better than what we started with, slowly improved every year. Well, Barkley's regressing now, but this is the year we got to do it or else we're not going to be able to do it at all. Bruce is a 76 overall. The team looks great, man. We just need to push past that conference championship. I doubt we even get there in this season because Madden likes to laugh at me, but either way, this is what we got going on for the team. Like it a lot. Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat, got all that. 4th and final year, let's move in to the playoff. And we have a first round bye here. Imagine if we just didn't make the playoffs at all. 15-2 here, top of the division, 90 overall team, 93 offense, 90 defense, which would mean we would be a 91.5 overall, but I guess we're 90, whether we like it or not. Let's see what we have here. Jalen Hurts, amazing. That has to be league MVP, right? Yeah, Jalen Hurts is your league MVP. What a year to do it. 4th best offense. I guess he's pissed from losing all the conference championships. 5th best defense here. 4,300 yards, 42 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 128 pass rating. Rushing-wise, Saquon Barkley, no fumbles back-to-back years, 15 touchdowns, 4.4 per carry, 1,300 yards. He is in regression. He went from 5.0 per carry or above that to 4.4, but still, it's a great season. Receiving-wise, A.J. Brown, almost 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns. Jahan Dotson, 12 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards. Literally, this is the difference between putting them in the slot and not. And then Devontae Smith with 844 yards, 10 touchdowns. Roy Krieger here with 3 touchdowns, 609 yards. Cooper DeJean with the most tackles on the team. I don't know if I like that, but it's 96. Tackles for a loss, 14 for Josh Sweat, 12 for Jalen Carter. Sacks, 17 for Josh Sweat. This deserves superstar dev. 17 sacks in the season with 14 tackles for a loss. 8.5 sacks for Bryce Huff. 6.5 for Jalen Carter. 4.5 for Jordan Davis. Interceptions, 4 for Terrence Middleton. You love to see that. Safeties on the team, 1 for Sidney Brown. Defensive touchdowns is 1 for Cooper DeJean. Sidney Brown's been actually balling in this simulation. And there's no way, dude. We're here to face the San Francisco 49ers. It says they have a better defense than us. We have the same defense. We have a better overall, better offense. We should be able to beat them here. I'm going to cry if we lose. Divisional round with the Niners, and we beat them. Here to face the 8-9 Atlanta Falcons. If I lose to the choking Atlanta Falcons, who are a losing team with an 8-9 record, I'm going to be pissed. Let's finally win a conference championship, please. And I don't think you guys saw it there, but I just saw Desmond Ridder back on the Atlanta Falcons. What happened to Michael Penix? He's wearing 19 as well, which is disgusting for any starting QB. But it's 14-0. We're showing him why he shouldn't be wearing 19. Desmond Ridder back on the Falcons, owning the franchise. Yeah, this is a total blowout. I'm so glad and so lucky that we beat the Niners and we got to face an 8-9 team in the conference championship. You'll love to see it. Total blowout, 38-13. Yeah, it's Desmond Ridder. What happened to Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins probably got old. It's year number 4 now in the simulation. Desmond Ridder didn't do bad. 102 pass rating, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 230 passing yards. Just not enough to beat this Eagles team as we finally go to the Super Bowl. And here we are in the Super Bowl, here to face the 11-6 Indianapolis Colts. We blow them out of the water in every stat. Offense, defense, overall. This shouldn't even be close. I mean, we have the better offensive points per game, better passing. They have better rushing for some reason. Well, I mean, they have Jonathan Taylor, but we have Saquon Barkley. We're better in that. We're better in everything than them other than the rushing yards per game. But, yeah, so let's see how we do against the Indianapolis Colts, and let's see these roster upgrades. Offensively, once again, we look the exact same. Our center is already up to an 82 overall. That's how much of a difference development traits make in Madden. I'm so glad that they changed that. Makes so much more of a difference for the team. 90 overall team. Defensively, any other upgrades? No. Josh Sweat deserves superstar dev, dude. 14 tackles for a loss, 17 sacks. He's been consistently putting up double-digit sacks for us for years. It's outrageous that he's not getting anything. This is my first time doing this entire rebuild. More than deserves it. Averaging a sack a game is crazy in general. He's probably deserved it in the past as well, but I'm finally giving it to him now. he gets a dev up. So anyways, apart from that, let's move in to the Super Bowl against the Indianapolis Colts, and I think Anthony Richardson, I would assume. Here we are against the Indianapolis Colts. They're to start with nothing. We're going to start with nothing. They punt it back. We finally strike first, and of course, we get ball at half. You love to see it. 14-7, basically 21-7 since we get ball at half, and we didn't really do anything at half. I think we didn't. Either way, we're pouring it on now. 35-14. This is your league MVP for you, you Indianapolis Colts, baby. I feel like that was derogatory to say to them, but they made a comeback, 35-28, and after 3 long years of suffering, in the 4th year, we win the Super Bowl. 3 years in a row, we lose in the conference championship just to finally win it to an easy breezy 8-9 Falcons in the conference championship, but we had to beat the Niners the week before that, so I guess it wasn't easy breezy, but that will make this a successful rebuild. And for those of you losers in the comments, the Eagles don't need a rebuild. The Eagles haven't won a Super Bowl since Nick Foles, so I would say so here. Don't need a complete rebuild, but the team definitely needs just the extra push, the extra mile to get this Super Bowl trophy. As you can see, Nick Sirianni here hoisting the Lombardi trophy, and I think our backup QB was in the booth there, but let's see who your Super Bowl MVP is. Your Super Bowl MVP is Jalen Hurts. Your league MVP is Jalen Hurts. Your offensive player of the year is Jalen Hurts. Great way to end off a rebuild with the Super Bowl MVP, the league MVP, and the offensive player of the year, all taking it all within one season. That's a lot of awards. 4 awards within, I mean, he gets the Super Bowl ring, the Super Bowl MVP, the league MVP, and the offensive player of the year. 4 awards in one season is nuts for any player. But thank you guys all for watching. Hope you guys liked and or subscribed. It would really appreciate that for the channel. Make sure you guys comment down below which team you want me to rebuild next, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.